Ladies and gentlemen, class is now in session. X's with the O's starts now.
You have to plan. You have to have more plays on the goal line for sure. You just don't do the same plays over and over again.
You lost because your coach sucks. He is so dumb. It is ridiculous. It takes a fourth down to get it up under.
X's with the O's, feeling coach Situational. X's with the O's, with the tape they're gonna show. X's with the O's, X's with the O's, X's with the O's, feeling coach really know. X's with the O's, yeah, X's with the O's. X's with the O's.
We're going to take 5 plays and take down the comment.
All right, you're going to look at this.
X's with the O's, X's with the O's, X's with the O's, feeling coach really know. X's with the O's, yeah, X's with the O's. Yeah, welcome to the show. X's with the O's, father and son. Pops used to coach, Bill used to run. He'll burn you like toast. Determination in the heart, football in the soul. Breaking down the tape, keep you on your toes. Smash mouth up the gut, watch close like the front row. Blue 30 gay, hut. 3-step drop, can't rely on the punt. Scoop blocking, hard knocks like instrumentals. Coach O preaching footwork and fundamentals. If the O-line blocks hit the second level, dedication to the game is all mental. Dash pass of the outside zone. Got a max protect, blocks feel right at home. Trolls in the blog, boys leave your cleats at home, cause this is our red zone. Yeah, X's with the O's, feeling coach Situational. X's with the O's, with the tape they're gonna show. X's with the O's, X's with the O's, X's with the O's, feeling coach really know. X's with the O's, yeah, X's with the O's. X's with the O's, feeling coach Situational. X's with the O's, with the tape they're gonna show. X's with the O's, X's with the O's, X's with the O's, feeling coach really know.
Good Sunday morning, game day, rivalry. I mean, what is rivalry right now with the Chicago Bears? We're going to get into all of that. Obviously, so many of you patrons we have to thank with so little time. Yes, I can go on for hours with shout outs, but today is a special day. We got my guys in the house. First, my father, the Hall of Famer, the stadium builder, all of that good stuff. He was not an All-American, according to sources in the open. How you doing today, Dad? Good?
Oh, it's great. I look forward to this meeting with those guys.
We're going to find the wise. We're going to find the wise.
Oh, yeah.
Speaking of wise, Shane with a Y, Dad. Did you know that? Shane has a Y in his name. Look.
I do, and I'm either Shane without the Y or they call me Sean.
We also got a living legend on this show.
Oh my God, Mickey Mouse!
It is Mickey Mouse. Our guy, the super producer extraordinaire, my brother from another across the pond. How did she do that, Dad? Here he is. Good morning, everybody. Today's a special show. Obviously, Bearlissimo, we want to wish your wife a happy birthday. Yesterday, we pushed it to today strategically because of George's wife's birthday, but also we want to come on this show today and we're going to kick it off in true spirit of the format, the brand from the beginning. You guys, you patrons, top of the morning to you, Lucas, are all a part of our life. And today we're jumping on this show to kick it off to talk about one of our guys that's been knocked down, and that's Cam Beige. So if you guys heard or watched Keeping It 100 Wednesday night, and you see right here, pray for Cam. Cam is in bad condition, keeping it 100. So Shane, an accompaniment, is that how we say it? With Bullets, Josh E., myself, Bearlissimo, all of a Jackal has been instrumental in this, getting a situation built, a GoFundMe to help his wife and his family. Shane, you wanted to jump on here this morning, talk about it?
Yeah. Josh, he is actually heading to Texas. I'm not sure if he is there yet. Maybe Phil, but he's going to be helping kind of behind the scenes because Cam's wife Roxy has MS, so their entire existence as a family is they rely upon Cam's ability to work and income. So Cam's wife herself has her own medical issues that she has to deal with. So you can imagine the logistics of when the income isn't coming in and
Raven.
your partner is
called it Roxy. It's Raven.
Oh, Raven. Yeah. Sorry. My bad.
It's all right.
But you can imagine the logistics of how that goes. And I mean, it's just amplified because of the season and everything. It's, Cam has been with us from the start. It's such a sad story. I mean, you talk about a dude that's built like a brick shit house. That's Cam. He's one of those guys that doesn't wear shirts with sleeves on it because he wants to show those fucking guns off all the time, and I don't blame him. I'd be the same way. But this just speaks to the seriousness of the global pandemic that's going on. And I mean, Cam's down with COVID, and 80% of his lungs are damaged at this point. So it's, he's a guy that's really going through it. And we do have a picture from Raven here this is, what Cam is dealing with right now, unfortunately. But, in true TTNL fashion, we're not going to shy away. We're going to keep it open and honest and raw. And I don't think Cam would want it any other way. This is what we're dealing with here. So as a network, just as a good human being, like everybody should be, we wanted to band together, the Hundo crew, everybody kind of behind the scenes banding together to get this GoFundMe kicked off and started. It's not officially live yet. We will be sharing it with everybody likely by Wednesday on Keeping It 100, because Josh E., like I said, is going to be on site in Texas with Roxy, setting up the financial.
Raven.
Oh, Jesus. Raven. I don't know. I have that on my brain for whatever.
Did you date a girl named Roxy back in the day? That's my only thought in my head.
Might have seen a couple dancing on a table someplace. I don't think I ever dated one.
TTNL fashion. But we also wanted to be transparent and kick this off. It's not even set up, but you're our patrons. We wanted, like, I know it's human nature. Well, what about me? What about me?
Family.
Everybody's a family. This has been brought to our attention because Cam has been instrumental in shouting from the rooftops how important TTNL is to him, and that all of us as family. I know Logan, you could type out his quote, and so Bearlissimo could put it up. He's been saying this for a year and a half, Cam, this quote about TTNL is more than football. It's family. And what do? You step up for family if you can. And that's what we're setting today. You could say it with prayers, or you could say it with a GoFundMe of $4, $2, $500, whatever. Or exactly, George, you just share it. So your friend who's a multimillionaire sees it and says, wait a second, let me read about this. And they decide. That's what this is about. It's not about taking away from anybody else and just keeping it 100. We'll be talking about it on BHL. We'll be talking about it on Keeping It 100, because let's just face it. You only get one life. If I have a platform or if you have a platform, that's what you use it for, to do good. That's what I believe. So that's where we're going to be here. And of course, you saw it. Football 24/7. That's all, from the breakdowns this week to what we're going to be doing today with me, George, and my dad. I just wanted Shane to come on here and show you this isn't bullshit, number one, about COVID and having a responsibility, but also to step up for our fellow man. And that's really what it's about, to be perfectly honest. And that's where I stand with this and our network. I know George, my dad, everybody has been in this. And here's Josh E. right there from Texas. Cam needs all of your positivity. He has seen 3 positive days in a row. So there you go. My dad, I told my dad the other day, he's like, I'm putting him in my prayers. That's what we do. However you decide to do it, as Chris Jackal says, be a friend, tell a friend, and we'll be talking about this all the time, like it or not. We just felt like today on Rivalry Sunday, the Bears versus Packers, some people have left the family and said, you know what? I'm done with the Bears, so I'm done with Phil and Shane and George and Coach O. That's up to them. I'm going to be here trying to create change. And today, that article has come out, obviously, Jason Lockenfora, basically taking the structure, the architecture that Shane has talked about, that I have talked about for the last 11 years of our lives. And now, finally, they might do it with Trace Armstrong. That's the news coming out, Shane.
Yeah, it's big.
It's big news because it also means the restructuring of the Chicago Bears is in their eyesight now.
Yeah, well, it seems like it's underway. Just real quick, before we dive into the football, one thing that I want to put out there, and I think it is critical because people are from all different financial backgrounds, and family structures, everything. And in terms of a GoFundMe, I know a lot of people sometimes feel pressured about, the amount. And much like in football, every inch matters, every dollar matters. Yeah. If it's $1, that's fine. Give $1, give $2. If it's $5, give $5. If you can afford to give more, absolutely go ahead and do that. But please, this isn't about being pressured to say, oh, I see this guy gave $50, so I feel pressured to do that. That's not what this is about. At the end of the day, this is all going to add up for Cam and Raven. I got it right this time.
Yay!
And it's gonna help them out. So, but like I said, it's important because I think people see things like that, and I think sometimes people sour away from it because of that reason. And like I said, Coach O can speak to this as a head coach in football. Every inch 100% matters. Much like in this, every dollar will add up in the end. So it's not about pressure. It's about just being grateful and loyal and thankful that you even have the ability to donate $1 or $2 to help a brother or sister in need. So that's what it's really about.
Exactly. You go to church, they pass around the collection bucket for church. Now we're asking you to do it for your family. I think it's
right there. Alex H said perfectly.
Exactly. If you could give an inch, no one's taking a mile. And last point on this, and then we'll transition to football and the Bears like you're here for. We wanted to do this strictly one, so there's not 700 GoFundMes. Let me give this. Let's do this. And we also want it to be Ravens money, not Shane Phil or Alex H controlling this and it's going there, or Josh E has it. None of the confusion.
No. She knows where it needs to go.
Yeah, exactly. She needs the money. She can have full access to it.
Exactly. So there's going to be one GoFundMe.
Yeah.
There's no games. There's no bullshit. I think if you're a patron, you understand that we might have to double down on that on our live YouTube channel and stuff.
Right.
So people know. But this is to support someone with MS who lost their support and may lose him. Let's just keep it 100. we got a fighter there, and everybody's praying. Positivity, that's what it's about. Life is too short. You get one. So just like I said, F the blog boys, do all that stuff. Here, let's support our friend like we would a family. That's it. That's really it. Cam Strong will be a part of the show. We've already talked about shout outs and putting that in there. So just letting you patrons know on Sunday, Packers Bears.
But
all right, Trace Armstrong.
Kick this off. Yeah, and let's address this right off the jump, because this is Mike brings it up talking about, yes, it was a story from Lock and Fora, but the thing about what makes this different, Mike, is this was out way before Lock on Fora's article today. Dan Pompei actually brought this exact scenario up back in November. Olin Kreutz and company and David Kaplan referred to it. I believe I think the latest No Name podcast came out on Thursday or Friday. Cap brought it up, and it seems like Jason Lockenfora is really kind of jumping on board. The only thing that I saw new in the article, just to run over, supposedly what they're saying is that the Chicago Bears met behind the scenes with Trace Armstrong on Chicago Bears alumni weekend, talked to him about joining the front office as team president, and he's extremely interested. And the obvious connection there is Trace Armstrong is an NFL agent, player agent, coach agent. He's the agent for Matt Nagy. He's the agent for Ryan Day, a name to keep in mind. And they said he's a huge fan of Ryan Day's prospects as an NFL head coach. The way that they spoke on it today was that it would be a package deal with Trace Armstrong coming in as team president. He would attempt to lure Ryan Day as the next head coach of the Chicago Bears, and former Chicago Bear DB Dwayne Joseph. Shout out to my Syracuse boy. Yeah. He would come over as the general manager. He's the director of pro personnel for the Las Vegas Raiders right now. And what's key to that, and it's not the only reason, because Joseph has been around forever, but when you go outside the organization to hire an African-American in a position, a promoted position, you get awarded with 2 third-round draft picks for that promotion. I don't believe the way that it's worded. I know the name Champ Kelly is out there. That's
so dumb.
It is. It's crazy. If
you're promoting someone of color, you should
promote them.
Yeah, you're promoting them. But the fact that it's written in the bylaws, and we haven't fact checked this 100, but Shane is pretty sure.
Yeah,
90% sure.
Yeah, it's if you're going outside of your organization
only
to promote
happens.
a person, so
you're punishing a person of color that's within. Do you see how dumb that is?
Yeah. He's got a connection to Dwayne. I mean, let's be honest, that's the way this
I'm a
works,
big fan. Dwayne Joseph actually was with the Bears.
Yeah, he was an undrafted free agent, I believe, in '94. I do remember.
He also worked with the Bears.
Yes,
too.
he did for a lot of years. Yeah.
Yeah. So he would be a good choice, in my opinion.
His first career start for the Bears at DB, I want to say he had an interception. I don't know why that sticks in my head. But
I love Dwayne Joseph. He was undrafted. He played nickel corner. I remember the Bears always use nickel corners as undrafteds.
Yeah.
They Hurst go down the list of these corners. Anyway, Richard Fain.
But it's important because Trace Armstrong has been a big time agent. He's been
I'm getting the tweet from Chris Jackal. I don't know if it'll let me. You got it, Shane. It's dropping on my computer like an HPP file. I have no idea. Maybe because I don't do Twitter.
Oh, okay, I can do it right here.
Yeah.
This is directly from Trace Armstrong. I have the utmost respect for the Chicago Bears organization, the McCaskey family, and Ted Phillips. However, any assertion that I have engaged in conversations with them about joining the club in any capacity is simply not true. Which, as an NFL agent, he 100%, I believe, has to put that out there. because let's be quite honest, there may be a point in time
conflict of interest.
Well, yeah, you may have to work with Ryan Pace no matter where he goes. Anything.
He's also Nagy's agent, so
yeah, and he's Matt Nagy's agent. That's great point. That's the biggest point. So,
well, the other thing is, before we let you go on this stuff, do you think, much like the leaked out firing, this puts a bad taste in Trace's mouth that this is getting out? Listen, I had this private meeting with you guys. Yeah. We kept it quiet for a reason. Now it's freaking out there. I don't want a part of this job. So now they could have screwed themselves by sharing this information again for change. You follow what I'm saying?
It's a great point. Yeah. And I mean, that was one thing that the Bears used to keep things locked up tight in terms of, nuggets or morsels of information getting out there. Not a lot got out, but now seemingly it seems like while this ship is taking on water and the rats are jumping off the ship, it seems like those rats are heading right to media sources to let them in on some, intel behind the scenes.
Yeah, the utmost respect for Ted Phillips is a lie within the tweet. So maybe there's hope.
Yeah.
Where's Gary?
That comes down to, of course, you look beautiful in that shirt, honey. That's my favorite shirt. Can we please leave now?
Do I look fat in this?
I've got the utmost respect for Ted Phillips.
Anyway, we wanted to address this stuff. Obviously, we'll be addressing it this week. We have former Bears quarterback Eric Kramer, teammate of Trace, who's excited about the possibility of this. He's going to talk about Trace, who he is, what he thinks, as well as what transpired with the Bears. Shane, any more on this, or kind of touched it up?
There's really not. I mean, but it seems that the wheels are in motion. I mean, do I think that the Bears have reached out to somebody like Trace Armstrong? Yeah, I do. I get it. He's a guy that's got a ton of connections. He's got the back alley portion of it all covered. And if it, my biggest fear in all of this, I don't have any issues with Trace Armstrong or Dwayne Joseph. Potentially, I have question marks about Ryan Day. That's I don't know. I think most of the people probably that are just football fans like Ryan Day because of his connection to Justin Fields, and probably they're Ohio State fans also. But I don't know. I'll have to do a little bit more digging and research on Ryan Day myself. But that's my biggest pause in all of this. I think Trace Armstrong, I could see him easily being a president of a football team.
Even if he's not president of a football team, it would make sense for the Bears to get him involved in the hiring of a president of a football team, given that he's an agent, connections, and certainly knows football and football people. So, maybe if he doesn't want the job himself, it'd be a good name to actually get involved in that. What do we do to hire the right person? Because Lord knows George and Ted can't do it.
Ryan and Matt are men of character. They are both, like Ted, outstanding leaders. I've been most impressed with how well they collaborate.
Thank you.
Don't be surprised, guys. I've got something special for you in my sack.
Merry Christmas.
Web slinging it all over the place.
I love George. Our George, not the other George. The other George is on my shit. He gets coal for Christmas. McCaskey does.
The tight end or the actual coal?
He did get coal.
Yeah.
Our George was probably right about Cole.
Yeah. I think there's still room for improvement there, but yeah, he's been a disappointment.
Oh,
absolutely, especially this year 2.
Oh, year 2 has been a couple blips on the radar of hope, and then all of a sudden volleyball passes and
I think if
falling and juking, like you're 270 pounds.
Run the motherfucker over.
Run somebody over.
He runs like a robot. That's one of his biggest issues. He runs like a muscled up dude that can't get out of breaks. He needs to work with David Montgomery and Footwork King.
Yeah. We need to get him over there.
Great point.
That is a great point.
But my overriding thing here, Phil, that I'm going to take away from all of this before I let you guys get over to the actual meat and potatoes of the show is there's more and more and more of this talk. And it seems like very likely to me that at this point there's going to be major change, if not multiple major changes. I mean, this stuff isn't just coming out of nowhere.
Exactly. So they haven't listened to us for 11 years. I tried to go back, and it was 11 years we talked about getting a president of football operations and what have you. Here, maybe they're taking that turn. And I want to say this on the last point before you leave. Bearlissimo, that's a great point about Trace being someone anti-Ernie Accorsi. Trace has a lot of connections. Trace has played the game
in the modern NFL.
He understands the modern NFL. He has clients that are coaches, players.
That's literally what I'm looking up right now to see what his client list is.
Yeah, that would be dope. But the reality is, it's not Ernie Accorsi. It's not some antiquated shoe salesman helping you hire shoe sale. It's like you see the problem. You're a shoe salesman. The ownership. You got a fucking accountant making hires. That's like
the problem is our owners don't know how to run any business.
Exactly. And it's like hiring a carnival to run an amusement park. It's not how it's done. You gotta have a history of this.
Clowns in charge of the circus.
Yeah, Tom Herman, who's on the Bears staff currently, is. But just some of the coaches: Lincoln Riley, Matt Rule, Brian Kelly.
Oh boy,
he's connected to Jimmy Sexton, obviously, who has Lane Kiffin, Dabo Sweeney, Jimbo Fisher. Those are some of the coaches. Let me grab some players.
He does have an eye for coaches. Which, oh, by the way, George, I think we need one. So yeah. The Trace Armstrong thing might be what our George is saying. He might be the new Ernie Accorsi for Ted and his alumni, his Bears, which he was drafted in the first round. I'll never forget. They had 2 first-round picks. They took Donnell Wolford and Trace Armstrong. And I was very excited because I was a huge Donnell Wolford fan. But as a young kid, I was like, who is this white defensive end from Florida? That was
with legs and arms.
And then they traded him. And then they traded him.
Giant arms.
Yeah.
His legs were thin and his arms were huge.
They traded him for a second and a third rounder in the 95 draft.
And then he went and got like 60 sacks with Miami.
Yeah. Oh my God. And with the Raiders, right? Didn't he go to the Raiders for a second?
That's where he ended. That's where he retired. Yeah.
That dude played. I remember playing Madden with Dent and Armstrong, and I just beat everybody's ass controlling those 2 players. Anyway, we will be getting into this and everything: coaching, free agency, draft mob. Bearlissimo's already got 5 to 20,000 mocks already in. He's ready.
Yeah, that's this week, Phil. What about last week?
We're going to be breaking it all down. Shane, final thought before we let you go.
No, it's, days like today, you should be, chomping at the bit, excited, waiting for your bitter rival and your favorite team to be taking the field. But now I'm just like, all right, I want to see what James Daniels does. I want to see if Travis Gibson makes an impact. Justin Fields takes another step. If Mustapher rolls another one to the quarterback, stuff like that, Roquan Smith. But what else is there to take away than, thoughts and prayers and positivity heading towards Cam and his family? That's TTNL has always been based on, family first. It's truly a brotherhood here. When one of our buddies gets knocked down, we're going to be the ones there to help pick him back up. And that's what we're attempting to do here, just with some financial assistance via our patrons. And like I said, we'll expand it here on Wednesday night and really blow it up so it's public. And if you make a donation, just like George said, just as equally as important as the donation is, it's equally important to share. You never know who's going to see it, and it just takes one person. There's Larisons out there that come through, and you're like, holy shit. There's people like that, and when we say that every dollar counts, it really, really does for Cam and for Raven. So thoughts and prayers and all the positivity I can send their way, they'll be getting it. But Bears will be on TV tonight, but my thoughts will be with Cam and his family.
Maybe they'll win one for Cam and Raven. We'll see tonight. Thanks, Shane, the smartest man. Marcel jumping on here. A special game day edition of X's with the O's and promoting our soon-to-be released GoFundMe for Cam Beige, one of TTNL's family. All right, Shane, we'll let you go. Have a great night. Obviously, we'll see you tonight. Late night.
I'll be miserable and getting ready to get up for work, but I'll be there.
BHL.
My best to your family.
Thanks, Coach. Love you guys.
Riley.
All right. Thanks.
What are the whys?
That's a beautiful segue into Coach Nagy Day today. Bears Packers. Little breakdown with Shane jumping on here. Business, George, which I think you hit a home run there. Maybe Trace is the new Ernie Accorsi for Ted and the crew, the collaboration crew.
I think it makes more sense for him, given that he's he's young in the agent game and he's going to be making a shit ton of money there. And maybe the president of football is something that's later for him, but at the moment, he's about getting these guys money, isn't he? So
yeah. So listen, you guys know I've been pulling for Olin in that position to wage war with the McCaskies and fight for the football side, a separatist party in regards to this circus, as you called it, George, which is pretty good for what the Bears ownership and how they've structured their offense and defense and philosophy going into draft, free agency, all of it. We can look at the mistakes, look at the past hires at the most important position aside from quarterback, and that's coach. And they failed each and every time. It's time for change. It's time for change. Speaking of change, we're going to get into the X's with the O's, but first I wanted to talk about this piece. I clipped a little bit of Akeem Hicks interview for you guys, and I think it's so important on rivalry weekend to see what Akeem had to say, and then we'll talk about it when we come all the way back.
Have you ruled out the possibility of something being worked out? And based on what you just said, are you considering that maybe it's time to stop playing, or where are you at?
Oh, no. Oh, no. No, it's not time to stop playing. I think what tells me that, right, if I can answer that part of the question, that first 3 quarters against Pittsburgh, you couldn't find anybody hotter on the field. People were getting hit. People were laying down. I know how to play this game at a high level.
People were laying down, George.
No matter what happens, I believe
he was
chasing people. For another 3
he was
4
chasing
years.
people down.
And,
Exactly.
Hopefully, I end up in a place that will want me to be myself and play the game at a high level like I can.
Is there just too?
There's some really important points in there where he says people were laying down, and he didn't emphasize that, and then he continues to talk about himself like I wasn't laying down. I'm playing my ass off the last time I was on the field. Hopefully, and this is where I get concerned, George, and I can rewind it a little bit. so we can hear it again. Because hopefully I'll go somewhere where they want me.
And play the game at a high level like I can.
Is there just too much that you see now that you doubt or don't think it can still be here?
I don't even think I'm ready to answer that question, honestly, because I put it to the back of my mind. It's something that I had to do in order to approach this season appropriately. I had to put it to the back of my mind in training camp, you know? And so I'm going to revisit that in January. But what I can tell you now is I've appreciated this last 6 years playing here in Chicago.
He wants to be a Bear.
I would challenge you to find another person on this team that has bled and fought and lived and died with this team the way that I have.
I want you to go on this team and find someone. This is like he's speaking to ownership. He's speaking. So they put this guy, Akeem Hicks, Dad, who hasn't played in weeks, out for a presser on Friday. This guy has the most, I would say, inspiring presser I've seen in the last 5 years, in my opinion. That this is a guy, George, that should wear a C every weekend.
Absolutely. Right? It should be team captain.
Exactly. Like the rotation of captains is so stupid. It's so dumb. It's also a showcase of what the separation of locker room, the stupidity of the head coach, not knowing. These are shots he's taking without saying, hey, this fucking coach sucks and he doesn't appreciate my personality. Maybe that's a part of what I'm taking from it is that he's basically saying if Nagy is here, then I'm gone.
I'm gone.
Right.
But if there's someone new here, well then I'll consider staying.
Well, obviously
that's what it sounds like to me.
I think pace is thrown in there too, George, to your point.
Yeah.
Because he's basically saying if they, respect who I am, they'll want me here. Go look. Anybody in that locker room has bled for anything.
So the captains this week, which we've been saying, we actually said when, Phil? Roquan Smith, David Montgomery, and DHC. I mean, we said this, week 2, week 3?
Week 2 or week 3. We said it on this show. Like, those would be your captains if you identify effort, performance, and who's going to bring this team to where they're going. Do you think they hear? I don't know. Let's watch a little bit more of it. I don't want this to be Akeem's last stand with this football team. I'll just say that.
So whatever comes from that, I accept. But as far as right now, just ready to play some more football.
Sit there and go, my contract's only around for another 5 weeks. I'm not gonna do anything.
This is a huge point.
And for that to enter your mind in some way, but it sounds like it absolutely isn't.
Never been one of those people. I think that's a particular, class of person. I was paid to come here and do a job, and I take that very seriously. And I just paid well, So when you step out on the field, you can't hold anything back. When you're in the locker room and you're getting ready for the next game, the organization doesn't deserve that, as well as my teammates.
George, Dad, is that not a leader of men that you want in your locker room? Like, I get paid. My job is to go out there and play, not worry about my next deal. What Eddie Jackson, anti this. Maybe he needs to get a little up close and personal with this guy.
What I'd compare and contrast is Akeem Hicks with Khalil Mack. Now, they're both elite at their positions, but the difference is Akeem says it and he does it. Whereas Khalil is very much, I'll do ridiculous things, but he's not really a talker. He's not really a leader of men. Akeem Hicks, you see him at the size he is, at the age he is, with the injuries he has on him. In that Pittsburgh game that he spoke about, he's chasing dudes down 40 yards on the back of the field.
We showed it here.
Eddie Jackson's whiffed on.
You put it up here on the film, George. I remember it vividly. Your British accent on top of laughter saying, how the fuck is he 6'5", 330?
340.
Running down, beating Eddie Jackson to the tackle. Like, something needs to be said about this. And listen.
For me, I'd offer him a contract.
You don't want to lose this guy. You don't want to lose this guy.
Dad, that's what
this
I want.
This guy's a Hall of Famer. You can't lose this guy.
This is the one you need in the locker room. Dad, talk about the importance of what George is saying. Khalil Mack, he's probably the best defensive player in football, maybe. We could go back and forth. When Khalil's healthy, he does things others dream of. But this guy is a different position, but is just as amazing, right, at what he does. But to George's point, he can be your ambassador as a head coach, right?
Yeah, definitely.
He can send the message that hey, Akeem, come up to my. I want to talk to you. I want to talk to you about Larry Borum. I want to talk to you about Tevin Jenkins and Sam Mustipher. Sam's a pussy. I want you to fucking destroy his ass every play, right? You could do that with this kind of guy to help Sam not be what, his weakness is, right? Talk about that when you have that kind of leader.
Yeah. Let me tell you, the locker room is a key thing for any good football team. But the head coach, he imposes on that locker room. He's got to be the leader himself. Mm-hmm. As I said to you before, he's a scam man. So they don't have any respect for him. This whole team doesn't have any respect for him. So he was talking about some guys laying down. They made a business decision. They don't want to get hurt before the trades.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? This guy here is telling you the truth, no doubt about it. He's not. He's saying it, but he's doing it. He plays when he's in there. I watch him play. This guy's a phenomenal football player.
I don't want to lose.
In the locker room, playing defensive line, when you've got someone who knows what he's talking about, and he shows you he knows what he's talking about, that's the guy you stand behind. And you watch him. He goes out there and he's knocking. He's got one guy, he knocks him down. He gets two guys, he knocks those down. He gets three guys, he knocks those down. And the guy just is relentless and keeps going. And he says, "Right, I'm doing my job. You do yours." And that's the kind of guy you run through a wall for. You do whatever you can. You copy what he does. You follow what where he leads. You lose that. You lose so much off the defensive line. Not just the fact that he's got the best lever move in the game, and he sheds people and he demands 2 and 3 blockers every single play. Otherwise, he destroys it. No, you can't lose this kind of guy when he still wants to be here and he still wants to play. Yeah, the deal's going to make sense, but at the end of the day, what's it going to cost you to replace him? We know that Angelo Blackson is not the replacement. We know that.
It take you 2 years to get somebody that could play, even if you got the talent that he was, to learn it and to do it. Talking about the draft, it takes a while. So this guy here is the foundation. You don't want to lose him and if he was the captain all the time, he might take that number 4 and take him right to the trash barrel and put him in there.
You're reading my mind. The blog boys are going to miss out and talk about contract, George. Oh, you can't look at how many injury he didn't play. They're going to do their math, but the reality is the benefit, the investment is in what my father's saying. Not only is he great and has the best leverage move, and George is killing it with all of that, and we could break down, and everybody in this network as a patron should know how good this guy is, because we're not making that up. But I have this value of putting a C on a player gives them a voice in the locker room that another guy doesn't have. That's why it's such a sham. It's just a Tressman goofy bullshit move to rotate captains. You put the foundational players, the ambassadors of you and the culture. This guy doesn't cohesively go with the shoe sale, a scam artist, as you call Nagy.
I think Akeem would know. I think Akeem would also know if we've deferred.
I got a point I want to bring up. Motivation is never. You look at motivation. The word fear is never involved in it, but it is. You know something? When you were talking about accountability, the coach can't say, "Listen, the only thing he can do is bench you," but these guys can punish you. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
You don't play hard, I'm going to kick the shit out of you. I'm telling you right now, that's the most important accountability. That guy can do a lot of damage, and he will if they're all together.
Exactly.
You understand? You can't have a goddamn pissant out there not doing his job, and you're going to lose because of that guy. They'll straighten him out right away, and he'll play with fear. That's the fear I'm talking about. He'll start tackling.
Yeah, this is a foundation piece. This is something a new coach and a new GM need to understand. I'm 100% with you, Dad. Let's finish this up a little. He's got some other great nuggets in here.
So everything that I can do, everything that's in my power, it always gets done. As far as what's been happening in treatment, you can thank Tristan. Tristan, this is for you. A lot of pain, you know. He likes to dig in there, get his elbow in there, do whatever he can to get me back on the field.
He's playing.
And
I'm telling you right now.
Yeah.
Said the other day that your injury was
Put
bad.
this 330 pounds down on that ankle. You know what I mean? So feels good approaching myself.
You're going to go for sure Sunday.
The plan is to get ready to play.
Hakeem, you said
He thinks he's going, George. He really thought he was going, and I feel like his sheer honesty put him on the bench. I can't help but think that. I don't get how he's not playing. That was Friday. They benched him later that evening.
I mean, the thing is, Phil, if he's good to go on Friday, then all they're doing on Saturday is walkthroughs, so he's not going to injure himself on a Saturday. It's so, you know, saying he's picked up an injury on Saturday is utter bullshit unless he slipped down the stairs, you know.
Exactly.
Or he tripped on Nagy's cat maybe when he kicked it.
They
oh no, not a cat. Nagy's a pussy. That's what I meant to say.
I think, listen, I've been around football my whole life. I think his presence and his sheer amazing. I mean, go watch his whole interview. I only took a few quotes in it.
The whole thing needs to be watched.
The whole thing needs to be watched. We just don't have time to do that. So I wanted to just get the meat off the bone there. This guy's in his mind playing this tonight, and they benched him because they're afraid of his honesty post-game. I'm telling you that right now. To Bearlissimo's point.
We might just found the injury, Phil.
Nagy left the fucking Hot car. That's right, Lucas.
I want to go fast.
Just found his way underneath Hakeem's foot. Let's keep him out of the game. I don't want to lose and have Hakeem call me out, for God's sake.
We're talking about Nagy, Phil, is the centre of where we're starting on the actual take today, because we've tried putting this in a very distinct and sort of like, you know, a way that is not making it too obvious. But the thing is with Nagy, and he's taken to outright calling the plays. And how do we know that? Well, we've got the tape to show you here, because the problem with Nagy and his play calling is he likes to make things way too complicated for what should be simple. And when the more complication you have in an offense, the more things you have to have go perfect for the play to work. The less options you give a player, the less options they have. So if something goes wrong, you know, you're left with what's left at the end of the day. And this is the problem with Nagy and his scheme. So just jumping into the first play here, Phil. So obviously it's shotgun. I mean, you can see, you know, we've got 6 yards to go. So off the snap, what are we trying to do here? We can see the routes. Basically, you've got two sort of basically rub routes for Jakeem Grant to come under. And you've got a chip release on the outside here. So basically, we've got 2 receivers. Bear in mind, one of these is Darnell Mooney, the other one's Demir Bird. Basically, all they're doing is running that. And it's all to get Jakeem Grant open. Literally, that all 3 routes. So the tight end,
it's like a...
Yes. So the tight ends come from there to block there. You've had one come to block there, one come to block there.
1992, we ran this play with me at running back. We used to run it similar.
This, 3 receivers to get 1 receiver open.
Which they do, George.
Well, it does, but then he throws the ball behind him. So this is all, for me, you could call that a pick because he's not playing a route. Yep. You could call that a pick, those 2. You could call both of those picks. And then you watch it go open, and it is open, but he needs to throw it now. For Christ's sake, throw it now.
If he throws it now.
Here.
1-on-1 versus safety. That's it.
Where does he throw it, Phil? Where does he throw it? Behind and high.
High and behind.
Look at that. And then it gets tipped up in the air, and it's an easy interception.
Oh, my God.
So that's third and short.
I didn't see this game. It wasn't televised.
This is a 3rd and 5 play, coach, and we're scheming one player open. 3rd and 5. We've got 3 receivers.
I love the play call, George. I was like, finally, they're scheming and understanding what George and I said 2-3 weeks ago. Like, you got to get this guy the ball.
You got a purpose. You're right.
17 needs the ball in his hand. 32 needs the ball in his hand. You guys heard us talk about this on the show. And if you're a new patron, welcome to the show. Like Lucas, I haven't seen you before, but yeah, I love the Matt Nagy specials on his menu as well. And there's a lot of them. But this right here is an easy pitch and catch. This is 3rd and 5, getting you a touchdown possibly. All he needs is one move on this safety because there ain't no way anyone's catching.
Look at that position on the ball. It's so.
Wait till you see it from the other angle. It's worse. So
we'll let it go, and it's an easy pick. So 3rd and short on our own 30-yard line, Phil. But my point is, Phil, is not the fact that he comes open, because you can see over here, look, you got Mooney and you got Bird. So you got Mooney and you got Bird here, and it's basically just to run a pick on these two. So it's basically that, and then you've got Jakeem Grant, who's currently off screen, just basically running a wheel, and then you've got
the tight end inside releases.
He's just there.
He takes his. It's verse man to man. So listen, they motioned, I believe, before, so they knew it was man. Now you got rubs and you got shallow cross. It's an amazing play. Everyone run up the field, take your man.
Pass protection. Mustafa's late across because Daniels is sat waiting. He stops his feet.
What is he doing, George?
Daniels has had 2 bad games in a row for me. He looks like he's a bit gimpy on his legs because he's not moving his feet the way he normally does. But Mustafa has got nothing to do, and he's late doing that. You know, Borum and Peters fine, nothing wrong there. And you can see it all coming under, like this Jakeem Grant. The whole purpose of this is Jakeem Grant. The only one who's actually selling this as a route is Darnell Mooney. Everyone else is blocking. Demir Bird is blocking. Jesse James is blocking. Now, they should be called for a pick there.
They could call that ball offensive pass interference. You're right.
But this is my point, Phil. On 3rd and 5, we've got one player schemed open. Rather than running 4 routes that could all get open versus man, you know, like stack release and sheds, things like that, like zone floods, like a chip release blocker, anything like that. We don't run any of that, Phil. We run a complex, trips on the one side to run 3 picks to get one open underneath on the hope that he can beat the safety because he's got to get to the 35-yard line. And then the ball is high and behind him.
He would have gotten it.
Picked off.
I'm not against it. I'm not against
the 5 yards. My point is, on your own 30-yard line, you call in 4 receivers that are doing nothing other than running a rub.
Well, they're doing something that New England does. They're scheming the player they want to get open. But to your point, they're using the entire field to do it. And your quarterback, Dad, he should just step, anticipate, and know that this is a shorter guy. You got to lead him where George had put it. You got to just put it. This is gold to me. Right off of his ass.
It should literally be
right there. Yeah, that's it. You know the matchup. It's now a sprint versus the guy on the hash right there with his foot, and you're fucking flying ass, Jakeem Grant. It's so ridiculous. Now tonight we're gonna watch for this same play. George is gonna text me. There it is, Phil. I'm guarantee you this play will be run tonight, whether it be Darnell Mooney or Jakeem Grant. This play will show up tonight.
Play number 2 of why do things simply when you can do things complicated.
What is it? Is it just me or Nagy pulling plays for Andy so Andy could do good? And when it comes to I don't know about all that. I I just think the play calling sucks.
Nagy isn't that smart at the end of the day.
Yeah, I don't think
he just calls what he wants to call.
I just
And
don't think
the
he
latest
has a priority in his head to use or utilize Justin's skill set.
The latest thing that he seems to love, Phil, is all of this quick go stuff that we've seen lately.
Mm-hmm.
So here's one of the the quick huddle, sort of out of the huddle, and we're going to snap it straight away. So at the moment, it looks like we've got cover 2 off. Okay, it looks like we've got cover 2 because it looks like lined up over there. But to me, it could be a 3. It could be even a 0 because you lined up over tight ends. So the problem is we've got no motions. We've got no chance to see what the coverage is. We don't know who out of this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are coming against our 7. We don't know if these 2 are coming. We don't know if one of these is coming and he's going to drop back into zone. We've got no idea what the defense is going to run. So let's just see what we're going to do because we're going quick game. So there's a snap. Look, zone left. You can see it's just basically zone left. The tight ends. So decent block by Jesse James there. Jimmy Graham thrown into the backfield. And who's that getting pushed back again? It's Cody Whitehair and Mustafa who are not getting their guy moved off as a double, not getting their guy moved off the line of scrimmage. Is there a cutback lane? Well, no, because the backside guy has been.
I'm so glad you
left.
put this up, George, because you texted me this.
Yeah.
When you were cutting the plays.
Backside guy. I mean, first threat is there, Phil.
Why is there no call, Dad? For you're running inside zone, but you're just allowing the backside guy just to come in, make the tackle.
That's 6 yards. That's half a yard.
Exactly. What the fuck are we doing? Like an assignment. Go to the coach's angle because I want to teach these guys something really important. When you're running zone, you got to block the backside. I just don't understand the philosophy. Look at the line. You got out quick. There's an outside 9 right there. He's outside. You're running inside zone to the left.
So that's the thing, Phil. Is in terms of waiting, we're designed. It's a zone left, and we're going to catch them. We're going to catch them by going quick.
Exactly.
Well, what are you catching them in? Well,
red. Mean right. Now we're going to run zone right. Guess what?
This side of the field. This side of the field.
Big
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 versus
1, 3, 4.
And because we're going quick, because the focus is on going quick, we don't say, okay, no, kill. We're just going to basically run a trap, go behind it.
Exactly. Or just scoop block with 75, block the end, run zone right is golden versus that front.
So Whitehead does decent to start off. He gets his head play side, and then he
look
doesn't
at the center, Dad. He's turned all the way down. Look at him.
The first thing he does every single time is turn, Phil.
Look at the shoulders. Like, what fucking zone are you getting up on a backer like that?
He just turns sideways.
Yeah.
It drives me insane. Like, he's in a shaded fucking 3. Let him go. Let him go. Get to the fucking backer. What are you doing?
Not your guy. Yeah, go to 58.
Jesus Christ! It's like, what are you fucking teaching?
But again, Phil, Larry's target is that backhand number 9.
Exactly. It's dumb.
Who's shaded left of the center.
Just turn out and block the backside. You have
That's Larry's target right there. That's Larry's target. Well, there's Sam.
Exactly, George.
Well, we're going quick game because we're going to catch them out, Phil. We're going to catch them out, overloading where we want to run to, and then not block the backside. This is the Bears.
Dad, all 75 has to do is turn.
Nagy's out coaching people by going quick, but
Now watch what happens. It's just a free guy running.
Just the backside guy, just completely free.
It's just disgusting. It's like you're guessing.
So that's play number 2. Let's go to play number 3 because it's all.
I would get any offensive line coach. I would love Coach DeLeon to tell us why.
Well, the play. If you were checking at the line of scrimmage, you go right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because
numbers.
Because that's It's the dumb play. Because there's nobody on the guy that made the tackle. And all he has to do is go straight down, and the quarterback is no threat to bootleg it. You know what I mean?
So asinine, Dad.
Go ahead.
It's like JV coached football.
Like, you can't
and
really
to George's
see it very
point,
well.
it was a quick thing to get an advantage.
Go, yeah.
You got disadvantaged. We'll watch it again tonight, Mikel.
But what happened therefore was we quickly dove into Jaws's mouth. You know, the shark had his mouth open like that, and we dove into it really quickly.
Exactly.
So I don't know if you can see it there, Coach. 1st and 10 from the midway midfield. So tight end stacked behind, a heavy set to the right. No running back in the backfield. So why we've got a tight end stacked there, who knows? But we've got one stacked there. We've got, I think it's tackle eligible there.
Yeah, because that's Peters onto the right side.
Yeah, Peters to the right side, and there's so
they call it end over.
Yeah, so tackle over, which is there, and you got Jesse James instead of a tackle on a defensive end 1-on-1, and bear in mind to this side of the centre and a bluff day. So we're off to a good start here anyway. You got 4-on-2, but you've got no back in the backfield. Well, you have. It's David Montgomery and Wildcat, I think. So again, in terms of making things, if anything, I mean, this jet motion and you've got all this weight here, everyone's going to be thinking that, and that's the whole point. He's like, oh no, he's gonna keep it. He's going to option it. There's Andy Dalton. Is anyone going to pay any attention to Andy Dalton over there? No one's going to pay any attention to Andy Dalton. So what happens? So there's the jet motion, and you can just see it's just basically squeezing in, so it's zone. So in terms of, if it's a pass.
To the short side of the field, George.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's the boundary, not the field.
Exactly.
So we're doing this all to the wrong side, the narrow side of the field. And then what happens with the snap? What happens with the snap? What happens with the snap?
The ball snapped on the ground. Watch.
It bounces. It 2 hops.
It's
one hop there.
Oh, my
one hop,
God.
2 hop into his hands. Well, there's the mesh fake gun. And that's like, oh shit, I better get behind Cody Whitehair. And JP Holtz has missed his dude, and it's his dude that makes the tackle. So, all of this is Nagy's masturbating to himself when he's drawing this up, thinking, oh my God, look how smart I am. This is amazing. This is gonna complete. They're gonna look at that, they're gonna say, oh my God, what's Jason Pieces doing over the narrow side of the field? And then we've only got one receiver over here. We're going to jet motion him, and we've got a full back up here. So it looks like we're running this way anyway. And we've got a half back in the backfield with a QB on the boundary to this side. No one's going to know what's coming here other than a run. and then in terms of execution, so you're overcomplicating everything to start off with. You're running to the narrow side of the field. In terms of numbers and waiting, Phil, we're running to the right, and we're advertising we're running to the right. Look at the numbers in terms of defenders within 10 yards of the line of scrimmage. 6.
It's dumb. It's just
so. And then what's the best bit about it? The ball makes it 2 yards off the hand of Mustafa, bounces twice into Montgomery's hands. There's,
JP Holtz with the whiff. The back.
Yeah, Holtz with the whiff. Peter's getting no movement whatsoever. Borum and Daniels have done okay. Whitehair completely overruns his target instead of coming tight here. He kind of runs like a super tanker in the sea. When you've got to turn in a circle of 18 miles. he's kind of running like that. So completely wide of his target. And then the defensive end, who Borum 1-on-1 has had trouble blocking, Marcus Golden, just completely throws Holtz, who I don't even know what to call that.
He all lays him.
Yeah, I don't even know what to call this. What's he doing, Coach? Trying to throw a shoulder? This isn't like any offensive block I've ever seen. This is just looks like he's trying to cut him in the middle of his chest. That's what it looks like to me.
Awful.
And I think it's supposed to be just basically a pull behind Whitehair. And it's just, this is the thing, Phil. It's just, first, this is a first down play at midfield. And what are you doing? You overcomplicate things. As I said at the start, if you overcomplicate it, it's too complicated for people to run. So that's that play. So we've already done that one. So I've only got two more bad plays, and then we'll get on to the reason why maybe we should keep it simple, because it's, there you can quite clearly see we've actually used emotion this time. Bravo, we've used emotion, and you can see it's man because 7's gone with. Okay, and you can see what have we got here? Well, some sort of stack here with the tight end off the line and Darnell Mooney on the line, really tight to this side. And again, this is the field, that's the boundary, because we're that side of the midfield line. Yeah, only just, but we are that side of the midfield line. So we've got 2 on a narrow side of the field, and then bunch on the wide side of the field, really tight to the end of the line. Again, in terms of, are they respecting the pass here? No. So the motion comes back, and you can see 7 is now not going with. He just comes into the box, and now you're going to take if he comes here. What this is, it looks to me like 17 is running a mesh fake there, Jakeem Grant, because he puts his down as if he thinks
the timing's off.
So then in terms of blocking, what's this great blocking scheme we've got? So what does Mustafa do? Doesn't get his head play side. Now he's play side. Now Whitehead goes in to push the defender play side instead of take over. Peters is following down. Unblocked man on the outside yet again. Who needs to block the backside when it's a really, really athletic defensive player? Let's not bother blocking him. Okay, and so then who's going to make the tackle? Oh, it's that dude. The dude we didn't block.
Jeez.
Just everything's overcomplicated, and it's just...
It's not complicated. It's stupid. They got a man that's uncovered, and he's going to make the play every single time if he comes straight down the line.
You're trying to run it here. Look at again when you look at the numbers. You got 1 there, 1 there, 1 there. So there is a lot of space here, but you got 4 blockers essentially for 2 players there. But this side you got 2. You got 1, 2, 3. So the backside can just squeeze straight down. That's there, and then that can just crash down because this is coming back. There's no threat there.
Mm-hmm.
So all he has to do is literally just watch. Quarterback's going to open because he's going to pivot left, isn't he? He's going to left foot pivot, the QB. Yeah, yep. So he opens up to his side. So this defender can actually see the goddamn ball. So he knows whether it's getting handed off.
Exactly.
Because the QB's pivoting his way. And then he opens up, puts the ball out, so we know it's a handoff. Look at him. Look at the speed that he's closing with. It's just they overcomplicate everything. What's Darnell Mooney doing here? Who is his target? I think it's supposed to be 58, but he looks at 58 and thinks that's a linebacker. No, fuck that. I'm going to go down to the defensive back. Thank you very much. Larry, you can take that dude. And it's like, it's just an absolute mess.
It's terrible. What changed? Well, personnel changes. Your center's not very good. It all crumbles. Confidence, belief. It's just what my father said and what Bearlissimo is showing you.
Desperation is what's changed. Nagy was less under the threat of being chopped than he is now.
Exactly.
So he's more desperate, if anything, and it shows. And here we go with another. You can quite clearly see that the defense is like, oh God, we're late out of the huddle. But it's like, late out of the huddle. But look at the formation again, Phil. Have we seen this?
I've seen this before.
Have we seen this? This is that same play, isn't it? But this time we got, again to the narrow side of the field and Jakeem Grant. So this is Nagy doubling down on the dumb play. Now this is the play that we ran against New Orleans Saints, where Javon Wims, as it was, it's Darnell Mooney this time. Javon Wims ran completely free down the middle of the field, which is kind of what happens here. He runs, sorry, my mouse worked there.
Wide open.
Yeah, wide open. It is cover 1 at the end of the day.
Again, Dad, backside. Watch. It makes no sense. Even on a gimmick, they don't block the backside. Watch what happens here. They're lucky, George. They're lucky.
Well, they're very lucky because Jakeem Grant comes free with this guy. To play his run.
They run a trick play here.
So this is the way it was supposed to be. Now, obviously, Holtz got blown up last time. But to be honest, Jakeem Grant was already past him by the time the ball got snapped. So at least this time, let's look at the positives, Phil. This time, the snap actually made David Montgomery's hands. So that's an improvement. We've actually got a snap that actually landed in the Wildcat QB's hands, who hands it off.
No one blocks 42.
Yeah, no. So this guy's just coming completely free there.
It's like you get lucky out of this whole play.
No, I don't know, Phil, but I mean the QB coming back here to pass with this guy coming completely free and seeing him pitch it off to him, that looks like it might be a bad thing. I don't know, but there's and the problem is Buda Baker really freelances here. This is the reason why they get caught off guard, because he's running to see David Montgomery over here, whereas he's got help already over here. So that's the dude that really messes up on their defense. He's one high, he should be back because he should see this coming through. Now, so it's an error on their part, because Mooney comes free. You see Seven's like, oh shit, I better go now. And because Baker isn't there, Baker should be back here, Seven stays here. Jakeem Grant is not open. And it's a sack because there's a dude running straight at the QB who, to be fair, Dalton kind of makes him miss because he overruns it.
Yep.
And then he's alive enough to think, oh, yeah, I can see Jakeem running free down the sideline, just lob it up over the top. And you can see Mooney's free because Buda Baker should have been back there. If Buda Baker is back here, this dude is over the top.
Did he get it in?
Yeah, he hits.
Oh, yeah, gets it to Jakeem Grant, and we actually get like 30
option.
yards off the play.
They get lucky is what the point is. You'll see it from behind. I think it's the tackle blocks the wrong guy.
Yeah, this dude, he's
they did the end. They're doing the end over again,
and we leave him completely.
So the guard, Whitehair, just leaves him completely, and he should make the play 42 because they do something different. That they actually block the last man on the line this time.
Yeah,
they turn out with the tight end. He turns. He should be getting 42. Somebody has to get 42 because 68's free.
Yeah,
so they don't count it right. The center calls it wrong. Now this 42 is free. Dalton makes a great effort, and Grant, that's where the design is. It should be a touchdown. If it's blocked, he gets to that point and throws it out.
As I say, Baker was the one high. He should have been back here, but he looked at David Montgomery.
Yeah, they tricked him. That's what this is. Good. But then Grant has the heads up to say, I'm going to wheel this. And Andy finds him. So they do a good.
But this is the point, though, Phil. It's only because 42 overruns it and Buda Baker is out of position that anything happens here. So there you go. So that's the overcomplication in the scheme. So we're going to go to keep it simple, stupid, because when you keep things simple, people know what they're doing and what they're blocking. And when you've got you've got a motion coming across, and you see that they're just literally shifting, they're not following. You see they're just shifting. He's saying right up on the line because that's your dude. And now we know it's like half field. And you can see he's showing he's coming, and it's tight ends there blocking, but we just hand it off. And this is the thing, that guy coming actually really helps us out here because it makes the block a lot easier for Jimmy Graham. But we know we're zoning right, and in terms of numbers, so let's roll it back to where it was. So there's Jimmy coming across. You can see it's half field, and that he's going. So there he is, and all you got to do is just turn him out, which is what he does. Borum and Daniels here to play side. Look at Borum's left arm into 42, turns him, so Daniels is on him, and he gets to the second level. We've got off cornerbacks that side of the field anyway, so once we got that there, once we get that turnout block, it's an easy run.
Yep.
Keeping it simple.
Oh, he's a cute tackle boy.
First down, we get 14 yards by keeping it simple. Yet Nagy continually, and this is I want to sort of focus on these two here, Coach, because I think you'll enjoy this.
I know that Durham is a great player.
So in terms of zone steps, yeah, they lose ground, but Borum there turning him in, and he long arms him with the right arm. See his right arm stretch out there, his left arm, in his shoulder.
Yeah, now he's going to go up to the next level.
Exactly, and he's got the linebacker in his sights. And Daniels
this is
now
how you
square.
get a good run game.
Daniels is square, right in his chest here.
Mm-hmm.
So that's exactly the way you want it. And David Montgomery has a bit of a lane here to run through. And you give David Montgomery that kind of room, good things happen. Yeah, Darnell Mooney out in front, we like that. And that's what happens when you keep it simple. So let's have a look at another play where they kept it simple, Phil and Coach. Look, it looks like quite a traditional. We're under centre again. Who'd have thought that? And you see the numbers in the box, and now you got the one bailing. So you got this guy bailing here. So we know it's one high. So let's watch it go. And it's just a regular open pivot there, not a reverse pivot.
Yep.
Ball out in front, hand it off. Look at Daniels again. Look at Borum again. It seems like good things happen when you run behind Daniels and Borum. I don't know. Maybe it's something that we could take advantage of. I don't know. Mate, this seems novel concept to me. I'm not sure. But look at Daniels there. Turned him in completely, got the seal. Borum to the second level on the linebacker. Linebacker's like, no, I don't really want any part of this. David Montgomery. Now Daniels has been able to come off his guy. And yeah, we're chasing David Montgomery downfield. David hands off the backside. And you covered this in your series, Phil, brilliantly, where he's got the awareness to know that the backside pursuit's coming from that angle.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
He gets free and he knows that Baker is the guy that's on the outside. So he knows that that's going to be coming from the backside of it. And I like the receivers are doing a fairly decent job of just being patient there and not diving into the blocks, getting a stalk block. Mooney getting movement, firing out with his hands. Great stuff, Darnell Mooney. And Baker just manages to hold on to his pad a little bit there. That's a hell of a run, that.
Yeah.
The guy's got him behind.
You see it from the coaches.
Look at it is. It's under center. It's just a basic zone right. It's a basic zone right between your two best run blockers, which is James Daniels and Larry Borum. And look what happens. You keep it simple. Look what happens. Look at the chunks you get. But we've got to outthink ourselves.
You'll see the presence.
Look at that there. That
great
seal.
back. Great job by Daniels. Because the center's getting swallowed.
Oh yeah. He's already lost there. But again, Borum doing a good job.
Borum does a great job. Swallow his ass up. Now look, Dad, he understands this guy's outside of him. He has peripheral vision from behind. Look at this. So he stiff arms the guy. The guy's hanging onto his arm. He's dragging.
He's dragged by his arm.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
But this is the thing, Coach. When you keep stuff simple for you guys up front, and they know who they're blocking and how they're blocking, and your running back's got that. I mean, how many times does David Montgomery have that to run through?
Now, twice in this game when they kept it simple, to George's point.
Keep it simple, stupid, and that's what you get. You get good yards. So let's go. Right.
The next one.
Come out of that. Yeah, I just want to say, so simple. We've done simple number 2. Let's do simple number 3. So again, this time we're out of gun. But what I like about this, when I say simple on this, Phil, is the reads that you get as a quarterback.
Well, look at the formation, George. You finally have outside the numbers here.
Yeah, so to the field side, Phil, we've actually got 2 on the numbers. 1 inside, 1 outside the numbers, and 1 on the hash. So middle of the field threat, seam threats. Yeah? So again, versus 1 high or deep seam. So you've got seam threats, you've got middle of the field threat, and you've got potential, crosser or go threat. Okay, so that's going to keep the attention of this guy and this guy. You've got 1 high center concerned about it. The big side of the field is over here, so he's going to be looking over here. So you kind of like with your halfback out of the backfield, run him on a wheel or whatever, run him on a go. Something's got to give because, if it's zone and you run a go and a wheel, then one of these two comes free. So there's lots of options. What I like about this is the fact that it just, again, against the coverage. So now we're sort of rolling into more of a cover 2 look. But he's just doing that to blitz. You can see quite clearly, you can see he's blitzing. And you see, I don't know if you can see here, but Dalton just turns his head here. Because when he starts coming, you see him turn his head there. So you'll see it better from the other angle anyway. So let's clear it off.
He knew the hot.
Yeah. So this is what I was saying on that outside, Phil. Because with that sort of one-on-one on the outside, he's got to respect the one-on-one. The linebacker's never going to get there in time once you throw it to the outside. And with the blitzer coming from that side, you throw at the blitz. So there's an answer against the blitz, there's an answer against man, and there's an answer against zone. Because we're running those seams. So you've got seam. Oops, the wrong one. So you've got seam, hook, because it wouldn't be a Nagy play without a hook. Just like a dig there. That's basically what it is. But it's just an easy read, just a little lollipop pass on the outside, good pull-up position, get it into Montgomery's hands, good things happen.
That's for sure.
Look where the ref spotted the ball. It's so dumb.
So this is what I'm saying about Dalton. If you watch his head here, Phil, you see him turn his head there.
He sees the blitz.
Yeah, he knows Baker's coming.
Now you got the hot. Now you got a mismatch.
Lobs it over on the outside on the position where it wants to be to the defender.
Look, I loved how David caught it and got his.
How you can mark that short?
Oh my God!
Because it's quite clearly yard past.
This coach deserves to be fired just for not challenging this. It's just sheer stupidity. They did it twice.
How can it be marked anywhere else but that 5-yard line?
It can't. 15. It's right at the 15, and a first down because the yard the game was the 16.
And he puts it at this 17?
Yeah, and Nagy goes opposite of keeping it simple, George. He goes quick game again, and they don't get it, or they do get it, but
on fourth down, on fourth down they get it. So that was simple 3. Let's do simple 4. So I think this is actually the next play. No, second down and what, 7 to go. So again, it's simple in terms of the reads. So you get a nice double there. This time, Whitehair. To be fair to Whitehair and Mustafa, that's a good double, and they're getting movement off the line of scrimmage. Daniels and Borum, again, a good double. Get control. Borum goes to second level. Jesse James lets his guy work outside. It turns in. Montgomery sets him up because he turns to the inside to get free himself up. Cuts outside. And Borum is that side because he's worked his linebacker. You see Borum works his linebacker, gets to the outside, play side. And that gives Montgomery the cutback. Montgomery doing Montgomery things. Just a ridiculous turn there. Drops his pads. The guy's just a freak. I said to you, Phil, when this blitz play happened, I said, put this in Dave Montgomery highlight role, didn't I?
Look at this.
Just a hell of a run.
Oh, my God. And he takes a shot. Watch the shot he takes.
In terms of keeping it simple, it's just keeping it simple upside. So it's just basically you get a double, a work double to the second. You get like a seal. You get a run off and a block here.
Watch what George is talking about, how David understands the wave and he presses inside, fully knowing.
I love that James Daniels gets his head play side straight away.
Yep.
Borum's helping him, just gets a hand on, and he sees the linebacker coming, Hicks. And now you can see Mooney looking, and Demir Bird, he's used to blocking defensive ends, Phil, but defensive back's not normally his thing, but he's blocking a defensive back here and doing a decent job.
Yeah.
Borum's now play side. David cuts back inside. 23's there. Whoop. Oh, you went low, didn't you, mate? Oh, it's a shame that you missed.
Look at the balance.
34 gets a decent lick on him here.
Oh yeah, he takes a shot.
That's a good form tackle by 34 there, actually.
Those Cardinals tackled so well.
They're physical, aren't they?
They are very physical, and they're fundamentally so sound in their tackling. I'm telling you, they teach tackling there.
Can you imagine Eddie Jackson tackling like this, Phil?
No. When have you seen this? Look, 34. Go in,
low. Playing two-hand touch.
Exactly. He would be like, oh, we missed him. It's like these guys know how to wrap up. And the Packers do the same thing tonight. Watching their film, it's like they tackle. It's like so odd to see a Chicago Bears football team that tackles like shit. So
again,
serious.
Keep it simple. Keep it simple. Stupid number 5. No trickeration. No weird formations. No just negativity. He just loves to get stuff. Cut block by Daniels on the inside. Yeah, Whitehair's getting blown off the ball a little bit there, as is Mustafa. They're both getting dominated a little bit, but Darnell Mooney's getting movement on his guy. Demir Bird's look at that Darnell Mooney block there.
Great job.
Look at this. Just keep your eyes focused on this, guys. On a goal line play, Peters is doing his thing. Handoff. Jimmy Graham's keeping position block there, and the guy's got to keep the outside, so that works in David Montgomery's favour. David Montgomery gets to lower his pads. Drives through. Yeah, he gets in.
They ended up spotting it short. They spotted it at the 1. They reviewed it, remember? They didn't give him the touchdown. Then they went quarterback sneak, and they didn't get that, and then they ran. You'll see it from this angle. The coach's angle. This is David Montgomery wanting the end zone because they fuck up. Watch what happens here. The center is late.
He just turns sideways as well, Phil.
Yeah, he can't. First of all, that's a tough block to ask him to do, but he knows the snap count. So now you've won. Get your ass turned. He just pushes the guy right into the hole. Watch.
Right. That's what he could do. That's the only thing he can do.
97 is going to meet David. David drives his ass low. 97 can't tackle him. Then he runs into the next guy who Mustafa should have blocked. And he drives him into the end zone and has the ball over. And they say his shin hit the ground at the 1/2 yard. So Nagy doing Nagy things, instead of giving the ball to the guy that got you all the way down there, he goes quarterback sneak, and your center gets he goes like this, Dad. Center snaps and chops blocks. As you're trying to do a quarterback sneak, he chops. The guys go right over him and tackle the quarterback. You almost fumble the ball there. It's like, are we serious here? You got a head up nose. You can't chop. You got a solid block that guy.
Sam Mustafa, the only center in history to fumble a snap twice on one play.
And not snap the ball.
Yeah.
He's a magician.
And get a penalty on it as well.
He went like this in the game. There's a play where he snaps the ball, but there's no ball. The ball's still fumbled on the ground.
I don't know what Eddie Jackson's doing here, but he's definitely telling people something and pointing. So he's doing some pointing, so that's good. Look,
defense pointing. Now.
Look, the quarterback might be a guy that we might need to keep a spy on. Do we keep a spy on him? No, we don't. Then we drop out into what looks like cover 2. So you would think cover 2, Phil. You would think cover 2 that we would be getting a safety here in this area, and we'd be getting a safety here in sort of this area of the field.
Well, that's what
you would think that with cover 2. That's not what we get with cover 2. DeAndre Hopkins might be a guy that you want to cover.
Pretty good, right?
He's got a bit of a reputation now. I don't know if people have heard of DeAndre Hopkins. In the chat, if you've heard of DeAndre Hopkins and whether he's a good receiver, let me know whether you think he should be covered. But anyway, this is what the Bears do. So cover 2, we're in cover 2. In fact, we look like cover 6 here. That's what it looks like there. And that's the under zone, middle zone, under zone, man, Cover 2. So it's basically cover 2, man to this side, 4 to this side. That's what's cover 6. So there's a cover 2 safeties. Cover 4 corner. Cover 2 man, corner. Under zone, deep zone. So it's cover 6, which should work to our advantage here. But let's
especially
just
in the red zone.
Let's just see.
What's the safety doing? Just trotting in the park.
I mean, it's not like he's staring this play down as well for the quarterback.
Exactly. You're staring at the quarterback.
As a safety, he doesn't look anywhere else. He's not looked from this point here where he's caught the ball. So he's caught the ball. His head snaps on DeAndre, on Nook. He turns onto Nook.
Gibson's just staring at
Decent
the
bit of
quarterback.
press there, and he's looking at him all the way. So it's not like Gibson's got maybe like a cue to get over here. But
he's got to run over here right now. He's late.
God.
He's late.
What is he doing? Backpedaling to the R and the Bears? Like, what are you fucking doing in coverage here?
He's backpedaled to the S for I've just shit my coverage.
Oh my God.
And there's got to be a holding on that play. Interference. He grabbed his arm.
Touchdown.
It's a
you
touchdown.
caught it?
Yeah.
Yeah, touchdown.
I'm telling you, that's a hell of a play by the receiver because you look
at the ball as well.
Who is that?
Best. That's Hopkins, my guy.
Oh my God! You look at the defensive back is holding his arm.
But watch 38. To your point, he's got over the top coverage.
Look at the QB. I mean, you're looking straight at the QB. Then it's cover 6. So cover 2. That's what the safeties are doing. You've got like an under zone. You've got a deep corner on the outside, under zone, middle zone, and you've got another under zone. Man over here on the outside. And then this is what you get. And literally, from the moment he catches the ball, he's not looking anywhere else.
And that's why you got to go there. You got to go right there.
That's your goddamn zone anyway. So what else are you doing? What else are you looking at?
He's still backpedaling, like as if.
And there you go. It's a good ball. It's a good pass. This is about. You talk about dropping the ball in a bucket. This is that kind of throw. But the safety being nowhere.
He should have been way over. He should have been on the end.
Sean Gibson has been incredibly disappointing this year. He's been awful.
This guy should have been.
Throw, that coach.
I know, but he's in the end zone. What good is he in the end zone?
Exactly. Well, the safety.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's he covering exactly? What is he covering?
He's looking at the. He's going to say the receiver made a hell of a play.
That's what you're screaming at.
There's a receiver here. There's a receiver here, and there's a receiver here, and there is one over here. Yet the safety has got responsibility for that deep zone. This deep zone is his responsibility.
Guess what, George? Devontae Adams is watching this tape too. So is Aaron Rodgers.
Valdez-Scantling and Robert Tonyan.
You're gonna fucking just sit there and cover the middle of the field watching the quarterback. I mean, it's his responsibility to get over the top, to take away that option so the quarterback goes somewhere else. That's the point. It doesn't matter if it's cover whatever. Your cover 2 concept is over the top. Who's your one fucking threat? That guy. Get over there. Don't fucking backpedal to the end zone. So again, I would lose my mind. Sean Desai, I'd put his fucking face to the fucking wall. What are you coaching here? What the fuck are we teaching? Fundamentals suck everywhere. It's worse than anything I've ever seen. Defensively, we don't know coverages. We don't know responsibilities. We don't tackle. We don't block. What goddamn person in the world is looking at this football team and saying, wow, they're really well coached. The coach is this is fucking, I can't even stomach anymore this shit. Like, how do you explain that? I've never seen a defensive back in my life backpedal into the fucking end zone 38 yards out, backpedaling into the end zone, wondering what. Let me go back. Turn your fucking head. He's cocked the ball up. It's like
you're looking at him, for Christ's sake. You're looking at him the whole way. He looks nowhere else. What are you doing? Maybe look to what he's looking at. Maybe.
Imagine holding any of these fuckers accountable.
So,
my God.
Concerns for today, Phil. If Aaron Rodgers sees this on the field, in terms of I've got 3 bunch here. I've got a bunch of 3 here. I've got 2 men up. There's a linebacker not in the middle of the field. So I've got 2 directly over the top and 1 over the top there. So that looks like a man. Yeah.
I run a bubble screen. These 2 guys are blocked. That guy's too far away.
Well,
exactly. You got it all day. If this slot receiver steps back, those 2 block, boom, gone. Instead, they run. I
think they mess up the routes here, Phil. But the thing is, my issue with this,
oh my God,
is that what is Ogletree covering?
Outside edge.
You've got 4 on 3. Who's got the outside contain?
Exactly. Where's the edge contain?
That guy should. He went inside.
Jesus fucking Christ. Also, what are you doing standing there now? He's alleviating the pocket.
Well, my concern here is he's got 1, 2, 3 receivers.
The corner should let it go, George. Is this 33 here? Yes.
And maybe come up.
He's got to come up and see that he's running. You got it.
Let's see what happens.
Oh, he's just staying on the S. There we go.
Bear in mind, the quarterback starts this run at the 20. So you've got time. You would think one of these guys, bear in mind he's starting on the 20, coach.
Oh, this is the pussy play. I remember this. This is where I bench cornerback Jalen Johnson for the rest of the fucking game. Watch.
Watch his effort. There.
Watch. He lets him. He pulls up. He doesn't tackle him. Watch. Oh, just let him go. Wait till you see it from the other angle. Forget it.
So running from the 20.
This is your defense, Sean Desai. This is what you teach. Well, we saw Oklahoma State versus Baylor, right? To lose, there's inches. Every inch counts in this game. Watch your corner.
What I will say is later this became Roquan Smith, and Roquan Smith stayed as spy to the quarterback, so he did make a correction. But again, it's about not having, and this is Sam Kamara, so I mean, it's a guy off the practice squad that's been called up.
I don't even understand why.
All he has is a bull rush. All he has is a bull rush. He
shouldn't even be on the field.
No, he shouldn't.
Kamara. Bruce Irvin, veteran corner. Look at him. He's juking inside. You have help. 33. You run to the fucking shoulder and you get him out of bounds. Look at him pull up.
33.
Take a shot.
Phil, he knows he's got help to the inside.
Exactly,
so
George.
If he cuts back, it doesn't matter. You take there, and you've got here.
Oh my God!
And then he's got nowhere to cut back, has he?
I want to save this kid's career. 33, and I'd be playing that and calling him out on his lackadaisical effort all week long. It's terrible.
Well, it's not the first time. It's the whole season. I can see the lack of tackling or desire to tackle anybody.
So exactly. I want to have a bit of fun with you, coach.
The whole secondary.
The whole secondary. I've never seen it worse. The 2 kids that tackle were Shelley and fucking Vildor.
Yeah, backup.
Vildor, yeah, and DHC. But let's not play any of those guys.
Let's not put DHC out there playing free safety.
So I want to play, in the words of Saw, I want to play a game with Phil and Coach and chat. So 2nd and short, and I'm going to tell you what the play is. The play is a draw to the boundary side, not the field side. This side is the field side. That's the boundary side. It's going to be a draw. How many yards do you think they get on this draw?
Probably 30.
Coach, I would have sworn that you watched this film, but I know you haven't.
No, I haven't seen it. I haven't seen anything.
So again, in terms of Margus Hunt, and you got Eddie Goldman on the inside, but then you got Roquan, and again, why they're running here? Because it's just literally.
Look at this guy doing this.
What is the outside B doing, George? Going A gap?
I don't know why he's coming inside, because that's his gap.
Yeah, that's your responsibility. That's it. Exactly.
And you got safety on top of that.
Watch, he's widening.
This is my dream come true on a fucking draw right here.
They're both kind of doing this, coach. They're guessing that it's coming to Zach Ertz, which is here. Now, on the pass, but it's not. It's because we're not there, and we're not there. And this is Gibson. That's Gibson and that's Eddie Jackson. So to this side of the field, we're in deep doo-doo.
Oh, my Lord.
I want to see him. I really want to see
So there's
Jackson.
the handoff. There's the
Where's
handoff, and now
Jackson?
we're completely out of
There he is, right
position.
here. Let's see if he tries to.
Let's see if
Well,
he makes an effort.
Let's just look at the effort here. Let's look at Gibson's effort for one. This is an athlete coach. I mean, he's running like he's carrying a backpack and a pack of coal on his back. Because that's just like little baby steps, and then no. So he makes contact at the 48 yard line. Makes contact at the 48, and then lands where? At the 45, the other side.
7 yards.
7 yards.
Jesus Christ.
With all hand tackling.
Look at, to your point, Eddie Jackson just trotting through the park, trying to get a spot on the beach.
So again, like, there's Christian Jones, there's Roquan Smith. They kind of both do this instead of this.
This is gonna happen tonight. Watch the same play.
And it's
with
an
number
obvious
28.
It's an obvious draw because if you look at the halfback, he takes that gather step and then he's going to go, isn't he, Phil?
Watch what he rewind.
I'm sure you've run this.
Here's the coaching point. This is almost JV light. The quarterback turns like he's going to throw. See? That takes 57, those 3 steps out of character, out of your responsibility. That's good coaching.
But
the Phil, quarterback does the fake.
The tell is not the quarterback, it's the halfback.
Totally agree.
Because he takes that draw step, which is just coming in close to. If he was pass protecting, Phil, he'd take a step there and look to the middle and then out. If he's pass protecting, but he goes sideways to take that draw step. And you've got to see this in the periphery.
The quarterback does sell it. Great. This is what Rodgers is going to do. To George's point, the running back is the tell, no doubt. But there's nobody in C gap now, or B gap rather. And now he's gone.
Well, it's after the races.
And look at him tackle. Like, oh my, how high are you coming? Like, go in at his hip, wrap up, drop your pad, and wrap his ass up and take him down. We got the last play here.
I've got 3 more, but I've got some good ones. So
go ahead.
Have we had enough of the bad? And we'll go on to the good ones now. So motion, you can see half field zone. Snap comes out. Again, wheel. Okay, who's going on the wheel? Nobody.
Late.
And it's not a great pass. It's high and wide.
Oh, my God.
We're still able to catch it, but look at that tackle.
This guy should not even fucking be on the fucking team. Crawford. I don't even understand how.
Team captain, Phil. Team captain.
Team captain.
Look at that.
Gotta play him, George. He played for the Cardinals.
Phil. Look at all the team captainness that we're getting there.
He was on the Cardinals practice squad for 3 weeks. You got to play him.
Is that why?
Oh, yeah. That's what they do. That's your fucking program.
So this is your bitch right here.
How is this dude in the game? Dad, this is...
I don't know. Cassius Marsh is all over the place here as well.
The worst showcase of tackling you've ever seen. First of all, Roquan's got to tell him where his responsibility is. And look where he puts his head. This is freaking Pop Warner.
Look at where the ball is.
This ball is thrown so far. Exactly. You run through that motherfucker, rip through, and it's incomplete. Watch
if you
with
get your
this
head
clown
on the outside, if you get your head on the outside hip, that ball comes loose.
Oh my God! Watch what he does.
Wrong side. One-hand it, gather it, completely runs past him. Then you go for a touchdown, mate. Yeah,
this
easy.
is a clown show. Oh my God!
So we're running through these pretty quickly. So we've only got a couple more left to go. So
can you imagine giving up a touchdown in an NFL game?
Can't. This is a pro football team. Oh my God, it's just terrible.
I like this. So Phil, this is what I was talking about, the adjustment later. So that's disguise coverage, shows cover too early, goes to man, 1 high. Roquan comes into the middle of the field. DeAndre Houston Carson has responsibility from the back, out of the backfield, and Roquan becomes the spy for the QB. This is the adjustment. So this actually works really, really well. So Roquan becomes a spy. Look what happens. clogged up in there. Gets free. Nice job there on the outside. Then it becomes pursuit game. James Conner goes into backfield. DHC. The two guys, DHC and Roquan Smith. So that was the nickel that was in man. So basically it's here. His responsibility for man on James Conner on the pass. Roquan comes here to become spy for the QB. So he comes into the centre, becomes spy, and then they play it nicely. And again, Robert Quinn doing Robert Quinn things on the defensive line. Nice shed there by Eddie.
Yeah. Just keep your feet.
Robert Quinn staying alive on the outside, letting the pursuit get to it. Who's the two that get on it? 6-yard loss. Thank you very much.
Just great effort by Roquan there.
I think this is where Roquan is at. No,
you
that's
could
the same
see
play, isn't it?
Roquan and DHC. I'm trying to think.
This is the spy.
Eddie Goldman was playing sporadically, but I felt like he played hard this game, obviously, and Robert Quinn. That's it.
So
Angelo Blackson as well played hard. I can't wait to see who shows up to play in a rivalry game for this coach with all of this noise.
It's gonna be Roquan and Robert Quinn on defense. That's and DHC.
These guys they're gonna play hard.
Now this is Eddie Jackson's first action since he's been out, right, George?
Did
he play the week before?
Again,
maybe he was on Thanksgiving Day. Maybe he was on Thanksgiving Day. I forgot.
So what I love here, Phil, is that Roquan has now become the spy. That's what I'm saying about the adjustment. So DHC, you can see again, same as we saw the last play. DHC is man on the halfback in the backfield. Roquan is spy on the QB. So QB tries to escape.
Look at that speed.
Blackson, lovely spin move by Blackson there. That's a great spin move on the interior.
Great job.
So he crashes down.
So he's getting the pressure, forcing him out of the pocket.
Quinn gets held here, but no matter because Roquan is spy. So whereas previously we saw a 20-yard run by the QB who didn't have a spy, this time we have a spy. It's Roquan Smith. Rather than a 20-yard run, what is it? He's running. He's going depth, trying to beat him to the outside. Becomes a 2.5-yard gain on 3rd down and long.
And
so that's the difference. When you have a spy.
When you have a talented spy.
That guy's got speed.
Yeah.
And
the quarterback's got speed.
That quarterback can run for 100 yards right there.
Notice the difference on the coverage. Rather than running zone, what are we running? We're running one high zone, man under. We're a better team, and I've said it. I don't know
how many times have we said? Hopefully we get
a better team in man than we are
the new X's with the O's promo. Say it again, George, so we could put that clip in there. How many times? Man to man, Coach Desai.
Man under, zone over, and we are a better team. You can see it there.
Are going to have to play that all night. You're going to take some fucking body blows. They're going to make a big play here, but you're going to have to go down without being confused and allowing shitty fucking players like Xavier Crawford and Gibson and coverage backpedaling into the fucking end zone. Just man up and challenge these motherfuckers to do their job. As Akeem said, every week I get paid to play this fucking game. You can go out there for 60 minutes and give your heart. That's it. That's what it should be. But you got a shitty coach. Shitty.
I like this because it bluffs the sort of the A gap look. So in terms of that, they've got to look at this because they've got 3 versus 3 if he comes. So they have to pay regard to this as if they're blocking, which means he can't help out to this other side. That leaves Blackson 1-on-1, and it leaves the outside 1-on-1, Phil. And that's why Blackson with this spin move here. Look at that, sells it, gets it. Centre can't help because the centre look. You see Hudson, good centre. He's looking at Roquan because he's thinking Roquan's coming. So everyone else is scat. Now, if Ford gets a decent block, Rondale Moore gets a decent block on Quinn there.
Yeah, he does.
But the thing is, because Blackson's got through on that single, because that A-gap bluff, and that A-gap is the spy, That's why with an athlete like Roquan, it doesn't matter if you've got Kyler Murray there. An athlete like Roquan can stay with him.
Well, there you go, folks.
Play to your strengths. That's the difference. When you're a coach, you play to your strengths. You don't play to your weaknesses. Now, here's a guy.
The last play, George.
It is the last play.
I've had enough. I've honestly, but
here's your two, Phil.
The last play.
Robert Quinn, Kairis Tonga. That's the focus on this play.
Tonga
finally in the game.
Kairis Tonga, Robert
How many
Quinn.
plays did he get? Like 4?
I think it's like 11 total, but I think some of those were like kicks.
I mean, that guy should be playing a hell of a lot more.
Well,
he dominates.
I'm no expert, coach, but I think you're going to like this. So, what you talk about changing the line of scrimmage, coach, on a run play?
They're running Wildcat.
Yeah, Wildcat. Look at him on 61 there, and Quinn.
Yeah, just pushing back 3 yards.
Yeah, just in the backfield. Look at Quinn there.
Look at Robert Quinn. Jesus.
He's a missile. But I love it from this angle. Watch Chris Tonga here. So Chris Tonga on a center 61. Not really fair. Look how square he is. Look him stay square in the hole. That's the difference with Chris Tonga.
They should have given Robert Quinn another sack for this. They should have given him another sack for this one.
Well, technically, that halfback is the QB, isn't he?
And they would have given T.J. Watt the sack. I'll tell you fucking that. That's how fucking contradictory this fucking league is sometimes.
That's a hell of a play. Well, Chris Tonga and Roquan Smith, though. Robert Quinn.
Look at Robert Quinn. I mean, Jesus Christ. This guy is a football player. Inside, undercuts, gets to the backfield, and stuffs him, sacks him. Because he's the quarterback. So that's technically a sack in my book. But TJ Watt gets that sack. Robert should have had 2 sacks in this game. They had to go back and give Robert the other sack that I felt like they were ripping him off on. And they actually did do that. So they don't do it here. Anyway.
We ended on a positive.
Ended on a positive. Look at that.
Big plays are nice. They're good. We need more of those.
Yeah, we do need more big plays. Tonight, we'll be breaking down Bears Hour Live right after the game. Will be Bears-Packers. And I will say this truthfully because I'm not going to lie to you. I can't remember the last time I've been less excited about a game in my life. I'm like, I don't have that energy, that nervousness, that excitement. Let's go beat these guys. So is that a good thing? I don't know, because I've never felt this way. I just feel like even today, I've never felt so disheveled watching them go out there. It's like
the lack of tackling.
The lack of tackling
in the secondary is incredible.
And then you flip over to the offensive side. George doing a tremendous job showing if you keep it simple, if you ask your team to be about David Montgomery, action game off of it, your offensive line to know their assignments, then you can get some big plays. And there's a possibility, but you can't do it. You got to go end over. Got to do that double reverse. Got to be tricky. Got to be gadgety.
Big plays are nice.
What are the whys?
We're going to be watching all the whys.
Oh my God, Mickey Mouse!
All of it.
Matt Leg is a bit more like Goofy. There you go. That's another one for you to clip, Shane.
We'll see you guys tonight. If you're just tuning in, go check out the show. We talked about Trace Armstrong news. We talked about Cameron Beige, TTNL family. And starting the GoFundMe. It hasn't been started yet. Check it all out. We'll be talking about it again tonight. George, tremendous job today.
Yeah, great job.
I'll apologize to Coach before I say one of them. Fuck the Packers, pray for Cam.
That's right.
There you go. We'll all be praying for Cam Beige. He has our thoughts and prayers. Enjoy the games today. They're about to kick off in 5 minutes. and get yourselves ready. We'll be back here on Wednesday with Eric Kramer and Steve Edwards going to jump on later in the night. 2 former Bears talking about Bears, Packers, Trace Armstrong. Will the Bears do what they need to do? We'll be breaking it all down here. George and I. George gets me the clips. It's going to be interesting, I'll say. I'll keep hope for Geary.
I'm telling you now, Aaron Rodgers is going to try and get the single game passing record for touchdowns today.
Do you believe that?
I think he's going to go for 8 touchdowns at Lambeau passing.
Wow.
I think that's what he's aiming for.
George is calling it. I know that quote came out by the coach, but I think that's a fallacy. As I was on Sean, did you see it? They're quoting coach for the Packers saying, "Oh, the Bears are like a bye week for us." He did not say that. Someone made that rumor up and is putting it out there. It's true. The coach didn't say it. Might be true, but he did not say that on the record. So just to alleviate that, George, do you have a prediction tonight? Because you weren't on Keeping It 100. I said 35-6.
It's Sunday night football, Phil. It's against the Packers in Lambeau. It's Rodgers' last game against the Bears at Lambeau, most likely for the Packers, and I'm expecting them to absolutely run roughshod over us. Like I say, I'm not confident in our defense and the fact that we run zone. Nagy is calling the plays, so it's just complete Nagy-centric. I'm expecting like 54-17 Packers, something like that.
Wow, 54-17.
I think it'll be a 50 burger.
50 burger.
This is one of those times
yes.
that the Bears could win this game in spite of their coach.
Really?
I can't see it.
I can't see it.
Let me just tell you.
I would love it. I'm going to say I would love them to beat the Packers, so I can't see it.
Look, I got to tell you something.
Yes.
Right now, everybody's down. This guy insulted the Bears when he would put the ball up and says, "I own you guys." You remember that?
Yes,
the last game?
I hope the defense remember it.
This guy, I got to tell you right now, the University of Nebraska beat Oklahoma in spite of a lousy coach. They beat him because they wanted to play him and beat him. I saw it with my own eyes. I couldn't believe it, but we beat him. We hadn't beaten them since 1945. This is 1959. And they beat him. I couldn't believe it. It was unbelievable. I was a red shirt.
These guys, there's no Akeem Hicks. We showed you.
Yeah.
Maybe if he was out there, who's leading this
Somebody's going to get a step up. There's 1 or 2 plays that you make. And all of a sudden you get that momentum. I'm just saying.
I hope you're right.
This is a possibility, but the timing of this is perfect for that kind of scenario to happen.
Listen. We'll be playing this back on Wednesday night if it comes to fruition. If it doesn't, we'll pretend like
you didn't say anything. No, listen. I'm going to say it anyway. I'm not afraid to.
I agree. Listen,
this is the time. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but it's.
Let me ask you both this. I want both of you on the record here. If George's truth comes out, it's 50-something.
52-17.
Yeah. Will 54. The Bears fire the head coach on Monday?
No.
We know how important this is to the mechanics.
They haven't done it yet. They're not going to do it.
Okay. There you go. You heard it here. We'll be back tonight at halftime. Me and Shane, maybe George. I don't know. It's a little late for him, but we'll be live breaking it down. And then right after the game, Bears Hour live into the night. We'll see you later. Hope you enjoyed X's with the O's. Let other people know to become a patron. Don't give up on us when you give up on the Bears. Don't give up on us. We are working hard analyzing this stuff, as you could see. I hope you enjoyed today. For my father, Coach O, and for my guy, Bearlissimo, George Bayless. I'm your guy, Draft Dr. Phil. Justin Fields game tonight. We will see. Maybe my father's onto something. Maybe Justin puts everybody on his shoulders. We'll see it. God bless.
Okay.
See you later. Thanks for watching the best network on the planet. Like, subscribe. You know what to do. Make a comment. It's X's with the O.